very much, Citizen MKO. Mr. Ntah, let me come to you now. Two questions. First off, what do you think about this move? Secondly, one of the spokesperson has talked about the cost of governance, the imperfections in the presidential system of governance, excessive powers by members of the executive, and so many other things, especially the cost of governance, majorly being money spent on running the government infrastructure instead of the different sectors like the health, security, and so many others. Now, is it about the system of governance? I mean, we've seen countries operate monarchy, we've seen countries operate military rule, we've seen the presidential system of governance elsewhere. Is it about the system of governance or about the peculiarity of the country like we have right here in Nigeria?
Yeah, you see, this topic is is itching me to speak. This very topic is itching me. When I stumbled upon that yesterday, that the bill, the move yesterday by the parliamentarian, the first thing that came to my mind was from which party? Because it plays a very dirty role, sensitive but dirty, sensitive but primitive role. That whatever bill, whatever opinion anybody in the parliament brings, you must have the backing of where you come from. The importance, the strategic functions, the usefulness of that thing does not matter. Where you come from is what matters to Nigerians. You see, the parliamentary system of government, or let me start from the presidential. The presidential system of government is not bad. It would have been okay, fine. But the peculiarity of the country, in the words of I think Lord Acton, who said power corrupts. Well, absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. We don't have power in Nigeria. We have absolute powers in Nigeria. Our governors are too powerful to even listen to public opinion. Our presidents are too powerful to consider the opinions of those who are not in his party. This is why the presidential system of government, which is even supposed to even be most suitable in a federal system, a federal structure like Nigeria, is almost as useless as nothing. I subscribe completely to what my brother said, that we cannot compare the dividends, the deliverables, the accountability to some extent between the so-called democracy and the military. Agreed, they were not trained to lead. Agreed, they are not good leaders. Agreed, they were trained to fire and defend. But in terms of delivering policy objectives, implementation of set rules, the military stands better. I can cite example of industries. I can cite example of facilities, structures that were built in this state during the military that would not have been that easy in the present so-called democracy.
State creation, state and local government creation.
It would not, even the local government creation, it would not be. So I think our presidents, though not limited to the present president, exception of a very few, and our governors are so powerful. You see, they pursue the objective of power. They concentrate on the objective of power. Power acquisition, power sustainability, power, what do you call it, stabilization, than pursuing the real objective rationale of governance. Now, I pray seriously. In fact, I'm not only praying, I think I'll be fasting, that hands don't exchange. Of course, the presidency, in cases like this, the presidency or whoever that thing would affect, or whatever institution that bill or when passed to law, whose convenience that would affect, do not give instructions to those who have the capacity to change the constitution. I pray that Ghana must go, don't change positions. And I pray that instructions are not given to the leadership of the National Assembly, who would execute the duty with some raw material. Because if I send you to go and cut down that tree, I'll give you the raw material, which is a knife. Take this, go and do that. So that's my prayer. And of course, that should be the prayer of very, very, very many Nigerians. The presidential system of government has not really helped us. because it has given unnecessary powers to the president and the governors. And in this stupor of power, this craziness, this madness of power, they forget about the purpose of governance. They use our state funds to perpetuate crimes that would, that would shield them, that would protect them, that would propagate their power. So I would subscribe completely and totally. If there is a way I would contribute as a journalist, by ways of media hives, by ways of whatever way I will contribute to this, I think it's the way out of the bush. It's the surest and the shortest route out of this economic quagmire, political and economic quagmire where we have, we happen to find ourselves. So I think it's the right. It's not the system of government is not the bad thing. When you say system of government is an abstract, is an idea. System of government is not, you can't touch it. It's the peculiarity of the people. Where you have presidential system would work perfectly well where you have level-headed and focus-driven leadership. Because when you give much power to someone that has no capacity to control the force of power, he will misbehave. There's no magic about it. It's not spiritual.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ntah.
Please, let me chip in something.
Okay.
Because we need to help our viewers, our listeners, our viewers that we are streaming, understand that it's not that presidential system was programmed to bestow so much power to the head of the executive. At the state is the governor. At the federal, it is the president. And like my brother Ntah has rightly said, they have become so powerful that some of them are seen as gods. They are emperors. The intent of the crafters of the presidential system was that there will be checks and balances. That the legislature is supposed to check the executive, and being that the power resides with the people, the legislature represents the people. So where the executive president or governor has gone outside purview of his office, he will be called to order, and there are impeachment guidelines to be carried out. But what happened along the line? The line between the executive and the legislature was completely erased, and the governors and the president became so powerful that you hear what, like in Akwa Ibom here, you heard of the term a table here, that comes from the legislature. What has the governor said? If the governor does not like what you do, what we are going to do, don't even try it, because
no matter how good.
No, it's not about people. It's about what the governor wants. And when you are maybe cursed with a governor or a president who is anti-people, who does not even have what they call love, the love we talked about, without love,
the Valentine love.
By what they mean. Any leader that does not love, in fact, nobody has a right to call himself a leader without loving, because it is the height of selflessness. Otherwise, the greed that we have found, some of us are victims of a greedy leader or greedy leaders who sees nothing else than the treasury. Some of them just said they want contract to control the treasury, and that's all that matters. So it's a failure of the actors that the legislature refused to live up to expectation. And at the end of the day, they made leaders, including the one that was not even aware that he was a leader and was able to honor. And you saw that he knew nothing. He had no business ever being there. Including the one that steals and lies in the name of God, mentions God at every turn, but was a clear looter. What do? Citizens who have the sovereign power to determine who gets in or out of office must speak up. That's where you need the NLC, that's where you need the professional bodies, because the market woman may not be able to do it until now that it has done, and people now go on the streets, people now shout every day that we are dying.
Okay.
In Yoruba, they call it being power.
Okay.
So it does not work in Nigeria, and it's time for that change to come, for us to have a new Nigeria, which has been my call.